You're listening to Creatively Geeky, the support group for your creative process.
Hello and welcome to the Creatively Geeky Show. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight I'm joined by Chris and Ray. How are y'all doing?
Fine.
Oh, okay.
He was being
She's
annoying
annoyed by my dancing.
He was doing the robot. He was encroaching.
I'm sorry about that.
No,
Ray, I've already had to get on to the kids. Stay on your side of the couch.
It's a great song for the robot.
Is
Fair
it,
enough. This is episode 41. Sai was going to try to join us tonight, but wasn't able to make it. I'm not sure what was going on there. I don't know if he had another engagement going on or maybe just work.
Next time.
So
next time.
Yeah. Well, that being said, this is our catch-up episode where we talk about what we've been working on. We're a little stretched out because we didn't have an episode last month before. The schedule's been all over the place.
Yes.
And we've already recorded an episode of Marginally Geeky, and I talked about that. It was a crazy time. I had a bunch of Ghostbuster stuff going on. People had a bunch of other stuff going on. It happens. So, but we are working to get back on schedule. So we've already got an episode of Marginally Geeky out. We're recording now, and then this weekend, when this drops, there should also be an episode of the Epically Geeky Show. So you'll have something to listen to again, at least from us.
Yay.
So, with that said, let's talk about what we've been working on. Ray, would you like to go first, or you want me to go first, or what? I'll be honest with you. I've got a crap ton of stuff. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah.
Sure, you go first then.
All right.
Or you say your part, and then I'll go, and then Chris will go, and then you can finish.
Almost, yes, almost good. So you want me to go first?
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. So here are the things that I had written down. Finished proton pack.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't touch it one bit. Start tombstone construction. I was wanting to make additional tombstones. I did not get to it. So I think I've already talked about it on this show. My wife and I are building a new house. They've actually started doing some of the framing and stuff for the slab. And in fact, she went by today and saw that there was quite a bit of lumber and quite a bit of concrete out there. So I guess we're getting close to getting the slab at least started going. So that being said, there's been a lot of stuff going on with that. So I didn't get any more tombstones done. What I did get done, though, is I managed to get the ones that I made last year actually out on the front yard. I had not drilled the holes for the PVC that goes inside of it. And so I drilled that, kind of screwed up one of them, and it poked out a little bit out of the back, but it's fine. I can fix it. But I got the PVC pipe in there, and then I followed his recommendation. And whenever I put it in there, I took a board and I drilled holes through it, and I use that as a template so that they're all in the same space, and I know the spacing for whenever I go to put the rebar out in the yard. He was absolutely right. So I did a slight angle when I put the rebar in, and it held on to those tombstones. And we did have some windier days, and they didn't budge at all. So fantastic, super happy with that. I was thinking about trying to do some kind of lights for it. Christy found a lighting system on Amazon that's solar powered, so I didn't have to run quite as many cables. It turned out fantastic. I didn't want it on the bright setting. I wanted it on the low setting. And as long as it wasn't super foggy or super cloudy that day, we got plenty of sun to charge them and let them run all night.
Cool.
Something I'm wanting to do for next year, though, to hide them is, and he talked about this as well. And I'm talking about what's his name from something. Yeah. He made candles, and that's what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to take PVC pipe with hot glue, drip down the side, and spray paint it, and basically cut out kind of a section in the back. And I want to put them over the little spotlights that I have, so it looks like the candles are kind of showing the light on the tombstones.
Yep.
Ray and I have shared quite a few things over the Halloween season here of other things we're going to have to look into. One of them being that I think you shared it with me. It looks like the concrete statues.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, those are so cool. But once again, that stuff I'll be doing for my next house. So And then, like I was telling Christy, I was like, man, we're gonna have to really get trees going at the next house. I mean, I've got perfect trees for it right now, but this is the last Halloween I'll have here. But I've seen a lot of people posting about using the chicken wire to make ghosts that are kind of hard to see during the day, but when you hit them with a light at night, they look fantastic. So that's something I'm working on for next year. But anyway, so I did get my tombstones done, not additional ones, but I did get the ones that I've made out and about, which was good. The colander helmet, dang it, I did not bring it. I didn't bring it home. It's sitting at work. Finished it. Turned out.
Yep.
The only problem I had with it was trying to put the leather covered pads on the inside. Originally, I had used, what did I use? I think I used contact glue, and that didn't work. And I actually talked to some friends in the 501st, and I was like, hey, I'm trying to put leather on metal. What's going to be the best way to do this? And they had a few suggestions, and I gave that a shot. And unfortunately, that didn't work either. So what I ended up using was, I think I ended up using hot glue, but I also just went ahead and put some zip ties through them. And so they're attached. They're not going anywhere. But anyway, I finished the colander helmet. I'm going to have to go back and do a little work on it just because all of the screws eventually want to kind of start coming off. So I either need to glue them. I either need to use glue or use something like Loctite and just permanently attach those screws. So
blue Loctite's the best.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, that's literally what it's made for. I probably should just go buy some and just be done with it. So, so I did that. And then let's see, what else did I do? Oh, yes.
Just a small project.
Just a small project. I have been watching tons of cosplayers for years and years and years. And a lot of them use EVA foam, the same type of foam that you would use for like floor mats and stuff, like at a gym or something. And they make armor and they make cosplay weapons and stuff out of it. Well, earlier this year, Nicholas had told me he really wanted to be Captain Rex from Clone Wars. And I'm just like, okay, let me think about this. Do I really want to make this for an 11-year-old? And I thought about it. And I was like, he's like 5'5", 5'6", weighs 200 pounds. He's man-sized. So I'm not going to, like, even if he does grow out of it, I should be able to make it a little bigger so he can wear it. Because the deal was, I was like, you have to be able to wear this for at least 2 years, dude.
Yeah.
And then I started at the beginning of September. I thought I had plenty of time. The problem is the months of September and October, I had a Ghostbusters event almost every single weekend.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we had soccer going on. And in some cases, we had soccer 4 or 5 nights a week. And so it really got down to about 3 weeks that I was really busting my hump trying to get this thing done. Yeah. The biggest problem I ran into was the way that the files, the files that I bought are fantastic. The pattern I bought is absolutely fantastic. And he even kind of had a guide for, if you weigh this much or you're this height or whatever, either scale it up or scale it down. Yeah. Well, the way that it prints, though, is it's a PDF, and he shows you how to print it out in poster form. Then you tape it together and cut it out and use it as a pattern. The problem is it's not possible to scale it one way or the other. So even though I was scaling it width-wise to be large enough to go around some of his dimensions, it also scaled vertically as well. And unless he was like 6'6", some of these pieces were going to be way too big on him. So after I kind of figured that out and started cutting some of that stuff back, I literally I was painting up until the night before.
Oh, wow.
Finishing stuff. Like there was some little touch-up stuff near the very end I had to do, or at least the day before. It was at least the day before. And I got it done. I did manage to get it done. It I had to figure out the whole how to get it to sit on him and everything. So like the cod piece, I was like, okay, well, how did this guy do it? So I had to use nylon straps and basically build suspenders on it. So the first thing you do is you put the cod piece on, and it's got suspenders on. And then we immediately started going up after that. But it turns out in the final suit up, we had to go down. So the thigh pieces actually strapped to the bottom of the cod piece to help them up. And then they attached to the knees as well. And then the calf pieces were fine. They were kind of like tensioned on, and they were fine. I was a little worried that as he walked, they were going to fall down, but it was okay. Shoe wise, I was like, Christy and I were talking. We're like, well, what are we going to do for shoes or whatever? And I was just like, I'm not a fan of them, but it's like, if he had some white Crocs, they would be fine. Well, sure enough, there's some of those white Crocs that don't have holes on the front of them.
Oh,
Look
okay.
great. The only problem is they were stark white because they were brand new, and I was like, I do not want to artificially age these because I want him to be able to wear these for other times, because otherwise I would have weathered them as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so did that, and then there is it's like a gut piece, a center piece, and then there's the belt, and it's got these skirt things on it. So I had my mom make the skirts for it. And I had to 3D print his two blasters that go in the holsters, and then there's the chest piece, and then there are the arms that attach, or the shoulder pauldrons that go on top of that, and then there are the arms that all go on there, and then it wasn't even part of it. Like, he didn't even have the plans for it, so I had to specifically make. There's this decorative pauldron piece that sits on top of everything.
Yep.
I had to end up figuring out how to make that, and I made that or whatever, and then the helmet. Now, here's where I ran into a problem. So I had to scale everything up by 118%.
Yep.
Your boy was not thinking when he was printing out the patterns, and he also printed out the helmet at 118%. Whoops. It would have looked like a bobblehead. Like, literally, I could put it on with my glasses and turn my head a good 45 degrees before it would catch and cause the rest of the helmet to move. And I'm just like, this is going to bug the shit out of me. Well, sure enough, I had enough EVA foam left over. I went and printed it at 100% scale. I was like, please God, let this be big enough, and got it together. And sure enough, I got it finished. And so if you're watching the video version, there's Captain Rex's helmet. I'm getting better about being okay weathering stuff like this, literally getting all this together and then being like, all right, now let me take brown or black and mix it with a bunch of water and just literally put it all over it and then wipe it away. And I know it's going to end up looking all right, but it's also kind of scary. I really like, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've watched all of Clone Wars. I watched, the movies and stuff. I never realized this. Part of the thing about Captain Rex was, when they went from the version 1 clone armor to the version 2, he specifically used pieces from both because it gave him certain abilities. And one of the things was he welded parts of the first mask to the second one, and you get these cool weld lines.
Yeah.
And that turned out really good. That was I used hot glue with Rub and Buff, and oh my God, it came out so good. And of course, he's like, well, is it going to have the rangefinder? It wasn't part of the thing. So I found a rangefinder, I 3D printed it, and he's like, Dad, if it was just attached, it'd be fine. I'm just like, you're going to want to put it down eventually. So I used some magnets on it.
Nice.
Put some magnets there. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. And so it is possible to put the rangefinder down if you want to.
That's
so
awesome.
What's funny is the actual visor itself, because he was so worried. He's like, Dad, he had a little kid's version helmet of this thing, and you could clearly see his face on the inside of it. Because I mean, it was made for a little kid. He's like, Dad, are you gonna be able to see my face in here? And I'm like, nope. I'm going to use what the pros use. So this is literally a replacement motorcycle visor.
Nice.
And as long as there's no light on the inside, you cannot see in this thing, but you can definitely see out of it as long as there's enough light. And this is what the pros use, which is funny because when I looked it up on Amazon, when I found a link, it does say motorcycle replacement visor. But as soon as you scroll down to the reviews, it's nothing but perfect, used for my clone trooper, used for my stormtrooper, used for my Mandalorian. Like, it's nothing but cosplayers buying this thing. And I'm just like, maybe y'all should retitle this. But anyway, I'm very happy with the way this thing turned out. Especially some of the weathering. Like, if you look really close, I took alcohol and was rubbing off on the blue to make it look really good. And so that was one of my big worries. I was like, now you want this to look like he's actually, like, you're real, right? Like, it's beat up. You've been in wars and battles. He goes, yeah. I'm like, good. Because if you want this thing to look pristine and new, Daddy does not make props like that. Daddy makes all real world beat up crap. So, but anyway, yes, I literally was like working on this every night for several weeks, almost every waking hour on several weekends. And I literally was down to the day before. Like if I had one of the problems that I was running into is the weekend I was painting everything, it was raining. And so the spray paint went on just fine. For the white, I got all that done, but I woke up the next morning and it was misting and it was coming onto the back porch. And I'm just like, I can't spray paint the blue out here like this. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll have to use my airbrush on the inside. So I set up my little paint booth thing on the inside and started painting it. Well, it didn't want to stick at first. I'm just like, what am I going to do? But luckily I managed to get the mixture just right and it stuck and everything. But anyway, yeah, this was a chore and a half. Now, looking back on it, I'm super proud of the work I did. I think it looks fantastic. Everyone I know who has seen it friggin' loves it. He got a ton of comments on it. And I think next year, like because I'm sure he will grow some, I can just like do some of the redo some of the strapping so that it will extend a little bit more. And if some of the pieces are a little bit tight, I can cut a slot on it somewhere so that it will wrap around and maybe put like Velcro or some kind of straps. I used Velcro on this. I used vinyl straps. I used elastic straps on this as well. Like it's got a little bit of everything in it, and which is apparently what the pros use. But I will say it's opened my eyes to some stuff. So like there's this one guy I follow, SKS Props. He is putting out for free. Now, I don't really have any interest in cosplaying this as myself, but he's put out the files to do the armor from Gears of War.
From which, sorry?
Gears of War.
Oh, dude.
And that armor looks awesome.
Whoa,
and I'm just like, man, that would be cool to make just to have sitting around.
Yeah.
So anyway, who knows? Not that I'm thinking about doing a Gears of War cosplay anytime soon, but if I decide to do it anyway, I will say though that I've
got enough.
Do what?
Get the chainsaw gun and everything.
Oh, I know, right? I will say though, I have thought, like after doing this, I thought I really need to bump up my Ghostbusters Mandalorian, and I really need to bump up my armor for my Jedi, because especially after watching Ahsoka, the armor that what's his name, the gray Jedi, was wearing, I loved, and I was just like, oh, that would be cool. So now I'm like not as scared about trying to use EVA. Like, I definitely have some, like you can still see some of the lines in here from where it was glued together. It's not, I mean, I know exactly where it is, but if you're just looking at it from afar, it's not too bad. But it's one of those things I'm like, no, that's something I would need to work on and try to get those lines to, disappear a little better. But yeah, I learned so much doing this, and it's something that, I've been watching for years, and it just goes to prove, I know I was already light years ahead of other people on trying to do this, because at least I have this knowledge, but experience is definitely one of those things. Well, like one of the other things that I thought about was, when in a couple of months, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this again. When I have my own shop, if I buy a bandsaw, I can actually put the level to get just that perfect 40-degree angle. So when I go to start putting some of these pieces together, it will be a nice, I mean, I've got fairly decent clean cuts, but it will be a nice, perfect cut with a nice, perfect angle. So it should marry up nice and perfect. So it should come out a lot better than some of the cuts on this day. Because some of it, I was literally just like, this is sticking the way it should. I also think, in retrospect looking, I think my contact cement is a little old, and I need to look at buying some thinner for it so that I can get it back to the consistency where it's supposed to flow better. Because I think that may have also been part of the problem, was I'd put some of this stuff together and it would kind of start coming apart a little bit, and I'm just like, are you supposed to be doing this? And I think, like I said, in retrospect, I'm looking at it and I was like, it may have been a little old and I needed to thin it down, but I didn't know it at the time. So, It's one of those things you learn, as you do stuff. So
Yep.
Yeah.
well, that is what I've been working on. I've been talking for the last 20 minutes. So
A couple of things,
A
eh?
few things.
well, let's move on to Ray real quick. Let's see here, Ray. The things you had listed. Plan out French cleats for your shop.
Oh, you have different plans for that now.
Really?
Now
Okay, so
it's
please.
gone different.
Yeah. I'll still do the French cleats at some point.
Mhm.
The shop has eluded me. I'm struggling with trying to find the right setup in my head before I get started.
No,
So-
absolutely fair enough.
Yeah. So what I was able to do was go find. So I wanted a table to put my table saw in. So,
Okay, yeah.
So that way when I'm cutting pieces, they're actually supported all the way through and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. Anyway, long story short, we go to the Restore, and there is a harvest table.
It's honking.
It's
thick.
She's
thick.
She's thick. She's about 8 feet
Robust.
long
Heavy as
and
fuck.
like just over 3 feet wide. Like this sucker's
Good sized table. Gotcha.
yeah. So
It was like $120.
it was $120. Like I couldn't buy
You can buy the wood
material.
for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I have cut the hole for where the table saw is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go get some like the skateboard tape where like the
Yeah.
top of the skateboard. I'm going to
Mhm.
get something like that and throw it on that piece of the table. So when the table saw is on it, it's not going to move around on me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I've got the pieces cut. I've got the legs reattached on one end because I took it apart and rebuilt it essentially. And I also added wheels to the one end. And then, I have to figure out the next side. And that's what I'm kind of in the middle of doing, is figuring that part out. Because I needed my jack in order to jack up the table saw to the perfect height.
Mm-hmm.
It's being used for another thing, but it's all been it was in use. It's no longer in use, which is good. But yeah, so that being said, I haven't had a lot of progress with the shop at all. Just one of those things. So
I understand.
Yeah.
Totally get it. Let's see here. You also had planning outside decorations. Now that we did this well before Halloween. Like the last time we did the show was
it
Yeah.
August?
maybe? Yeah, at least August.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So Halloween went fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
We got a crap ton of snow.
Yep.
yes, I saw that.
It was actually to the point we didn't even bother carving our pumpkins. Like it was just
It's way too cold.
it was way too
Just
cold.
cold.
There was no way we were gonna have like even putting the battery lit thing. Like so none of us carved a pumpkin.
No.
Mhm.
All the pumpkins were out there.
Yeah.
And I did get my shovel out there because
Yes, I saw that.
so so that was good. Had my setup working for the sunroom for the portraits. So that was good. Had a couple. Actually, there was one kid that was really trying to figure out how it was working.
Yeah, he walked in.
Doing that, so
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. So yeah, that was all fun. But the night we only had like 9 kids,
Oh, we had
and
9 kids.
don't think we had that. Just we actually had it was a bad enough snowstorm that we had lightning as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty good thunder boomer at one point, and I actually have it on the Nest camera, so
Yeah.
I was able to share that on Facebook, which was fun. But so yeah, not a lot to do with that one either, unfortunately.
Well, no, in our town does this like trick-or-treating downtown because our downtown's a circle. So all the
Really young ones,
all the
go to
littles,
that.
I think it starts at like 4:30. So they all go to that. And so so since we've been here, we haven't had any, and that just seems to be the trend. Like people who lived here before COVID, there's just not, ours is not the street to be at.
Right.
So next year we're like, this year we did some full size chocolate bars. Next year I'm doing full size chocolate.
Oh yeah.
And like totally reward the few kids that do show up. Just be like,
that's right.
We went to the dollar store and like loaded up on all the knockoff candy bars, and all the chocolate bars,
the
like
big ones,
Meteor and Titan, Island Bar.
But we also gave out Gushers, fruit roll-ups, and fruit by the foot. So
nice.
Just giving handfuls out here, kid.
Oh yeah, each kid had like a huge handful.
Yeah.
So
nice. I posted a thing. I can't remember if I posted on the back channel as well, but I posted a thing on Facebook, and I was asking the question: Is it just some neighborhoods are aging out? Like there's not that many young kids, and that's why there aren't that many trick-or-treaters / that many people handing out candy? Or are we moving as a society towards more like trunk or treat, more like scheduled events? And it kind of sounds that way in that I had several people reply to me and they're like, well, certain neighborhoods, some of them more like gated communities or whatever, but are definitely more of a community type thing. Yeah. They all got together and were like, no, we're going to do this. We're going to do it right. And so like every house in this, in this neighborhood or whatever was decorated. Every house was handing out candy, and like people were coming in droves to those locations.
Yes.
But that sounds like a scheduled event. Also, like, lots of churches, the mall, stuff like that. We're doing trunk or treats. A lot of the schools were doing these as well. And it sounds like we're moving towards that. So if you're just a run-of-the-mill neighborhood that's not like kind of like a really, close-knit community or whatever, it's really kind of hit or miss whether or not people are handing out candy or if you're even going to get any trick-or-treaters. So
and I've heard that as well. There's a couple of neighborhoods in one of the old towns that we were hanging out with, or that we used to go to. All the kids want to, because they're going to the same school, they want to go together. Yeah. So they all hit one block. So I heard like this one street was getting hundreds of kids, but then the street next to them got like 20.
Jeez.
So all the friends want to stick together and they all want to do the same block and then they're done. So
there's also this terrible thing called the switch witch, which I want to die. I want it to die. So the kids go out trick-or-treating and then they leave their collected goods outside the front door. And in the morning, their candy's gone and then they get a present because the switch witch came and took all their candy and gave them a present instead. I'm like, what's the point?
What the hell is that?
It's supposed to be like this whole thing of it started
for healthy.
It's for healthy things, right? Like because there's all this poison with the candy, except it's been scientifically proven that if you heavily restrict things, the moment they get their hands on it, they're gonna fucking binge eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, but yeah, that's really, really starting to gain traction. Is this whole fucking switch witch?
I have never heard of that.
Yeah.
Well, Simpsons did a parody of it at one point where the Switch Witch they took all the candy and gave them vegetables instead.
Yeah, but that's like, I think it's sort of a way. It's wellness culture bullshit where like
fuck those people.
They can still participate, except we're gonna like judge you.
Except for you're gonna ruin the entire purpose of it. Yeah,
that's the whole thing. It's like one of the last few things where, unless you're like a devout religious nut where you think it's about the devil and it's not, it's sort of like a community thing. It doesn't matter your background. Halloween is like this wonderful community experience, and it's going away and it sucks.
We could we've done an episode kind of talking about it, but I could totally do another episode of Epically Geeky where we talk about just how certain things seem to be breaking down from when we were kids, for different things. But on the other hand, it's like, well, like you said, like the boys have some friends that their parents won't let them do Halloween. And it's not like they're super religious, but I'm just like, I'm still fighting the idea that Christmas is not 100% commercialized, because there is some good stuff I've heard that people will do. like they'll do fewer presents or they'll not do presents at all. And it's mainly about just this is the time we get together and spend time with each other. That type of stuff. That's great. Halloween, no. This is completely commercialized. I really wish at this point, let's just freaking rename it Cosplay Eve or something like that and just completely rip all of it out. So all of these kids, because I just want the kids to be able to dress up and go get candy. Like,
it's fun.
Why? Because that's your reason. Because that's a good enough reason.
Life's too short, so fucking enjoy something for once.
Hell yeah. So but yeah, that's my feeling on that is I'm just like this has nothing to do. This may have started off as based on something pagan. We've ripped all of that out so far long ago. Like it has nothing to do with anything. So
it's a secular event is what it is.
Exactly. So you had one more thing on there, Ray, which was also research fog machine. Did you ever get around to doing that?
Well, I did research. I did do research on a few things. I had a few ideas. We didn't pull the trigger this year. I'm glad we didn't.
I'm glad we didn't. Yeah, because it wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked, and it was cold. So glad I didn't in the long run. But we did do some other stuff. So I was able to hang, and you'll actually see it off in the corner. I was able to hang up one of my paintings over there.
Very nice.
Picture from when we were in the UK, and then I put the night bus in it. So
nice.
I gotta have my night bus shirt on, and then so for the same holiday, because that was a Christmas gift to Chris, my lovely wife decided to do a paint by numbers for me.
Oh, okay.
I love Vermeer. I love Vermeer.
Yeah, he's a Dutch.
And my darling wife is so sweet. She tried so hard and then waited for so long that the paint dried. So we have it unfinished.
This is a paint by number. It's a Vermeer. It's the girl at the piano. I got it off Amazon as a paint by numbers because I can't draw for shit. I can't. I have nice handwriting. That's where it stops. And I was like, I'll do a paint by number. I'll have a Vermeer. Okay, so I got like super focused on it, and then my back started hurting because I'm hunched. And then I just put it aside and forgot about it. Then I'm like, I got these 2 big frames. I got it at the Restore for like $15, which is great.
I'll finish it. The paint will be fine. It's shut tight. It'll be one line of paint worked. The rest of it dried up. And I feel like this is just so fitting.
It's fitting.
So fitting.
Because I'm not artistic. That's not where my artistic lie. So I wrote on the bottom because he signed this.
Yeah.
I wrote on the bottom of this just for you.
Nice.
I love the story of it. So.
Yeah, it's like it just dried. I'm fully like, yes, I'm gonna finish it. No, paint all dried up.
Yeah.
So half of, I'd say 2/3 of it is done.
2/3. Yeah. 2/3.
2/3 of it is done. Like the big chunks are not done of it.
Yeah. That white isn't supposed to be white.
That's not supposed to be white.
That's
where it's supposed to be colored.
Yeah. So,
that is awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, other than that though, it hasn't been, I have done some math and some preparing.
Okay.
We are preparing to do Chris's birthday present.
My birthday.
So we are going to be doing the tile in the kitchen.
Ooh, okay.
Therefore, that is a creative process.
Yes, it is.
And there was some math involved to make sure we have enough of everything. So anyway, yep. So that starts next week.
Have fun with that.
Yeah. But I'm going to help this time. Like I want to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
And there's no power tools involved. So I feel like I will be safe enough for myself to be able to do this.
Sure.
I'd say it can't be that bad, but Lainey has literally cut herself with a safety potato peeler.
Yeah, I get it.
So, yeah. Some people. Chris, you had nothing.
I know.
And did you accomplish nothing?
Among other things.
That's a no.
I was gonna say no. You failed at doing nothing. So what did you do?
Doing nothing, but I succeeded also in that I liked that I said I like that I didn't set a goal, because I was really kind of struggling mentally with that. So like as soon as I I'm not going to set any goals, it was nice for me. But I set up for Halloween like early, like it was beginning of September where I started setting up for Halloween. So our sunroom is sort of like my decor room. I'm not a huge fan of constantly rotating out decor. Like I just don't like it. Like seasonal decor, I don't understand why you every like 6 months you seem, or like 3 to 4 months for every holiday, you're like redecorating your entire, and then you just have to store the stuff. And then anyway.
Yeah.
So the sunroom's a dedicated spot, and I started doing that in like early September.
Yep.
So that was really fun. Ray made me an extra shelf in the sunroom because I wanted to put like spooky tchotchkes on there. I hung twinkle lights from the ceiling and put cobweb over it. Except my big idea was I'll just stick it up there with packing tape. Packing tape is clear. You'll never see it. So then when I start pulling it down, chunks of paint are coming off with the packing tape, because I wasn't thinking. All I was thinking was like, it's clear. It'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I get you.
I had to touch up the ceiling in the sunroom because I wasn't thinking. But I like what I did in the sunroom for Halloween this year. It was really good.
The bats came back.
The bats were back, and then I had some extra decor stuff, which was really cool. I was kind of going for a like sort of the age of the house, which this house is a late Victorian, and so it's kind of like spooky gothic headless horseman sort of thing, which was really cool. And then I started a sweater. I'm not great at crocheting clothes because my gauge is so off. My gauge is too loose that it just turns into like tarps of fabric that I crocheted, and I can't math hard. Can you hear that? It's thunder.
Yeah, we got the thunder going
on. And so I found one. I'm really good at granny squares, so I found a granny square cardigan on YouTube that I could do. So I got stuck because of the arms. There's a specific stitch that's tripping me up. So I am going to learn that, though. It's not going to stop me. And then I started. So I'm doing a blanket right now. It's for my nephew's girlfriend.
Yep.
Nice.
I had made a blanket for my niece, and she had got it when the girlfriend, her name's Chloe, was around. And I was like, I'll make you a blanket. What color do you like? And she's like, I like pink. I'm like, what? Like, be more specific when you say pink. So she told me. And then my nephew, he likes blue, so I'm making him one too. And we're going to see them on Sunday.
Yep.
So I'm going to give them the blankets. Other than that, I've been dabbling in writing. I've been really having a hard time with it, though. It's really, I don't know.
The flow will come, and then it goes.
It goes. When it goes, it like goes away really quickly and like fiercely. And so I've been struggling, trying to figure out how to get into the groove of it when you're literally just sitting there staring at a computer and nothing's coming.
And nothing's coming. Yeah.
Those people who can like just start typing. It's like, no, not when I want to throw the damn thing. Like, no, that's not productive. Oh.
Yeah, we are having a pretty good storm. Just a heads up, if you lose us, it's probably because of the storm.
Okay.
It's supposed to rain till like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Logan's so happy right now. She's just like, she's all cozy. There she is.
Oh, yeah.
She's all cozy
now she's on the show.
But yeah, so I've been doing that, and then I've been what else have I been
Decorating
doing?
the house.
Decorating that. Well, yeah, just putting pictures up and stuff.
Deciding that the tile is going to go.
Deciding the tile, because I had this. So there's this type of tile, and it's a Moroccan tile. It's been around for 1,000 years. It's called Zalej, and it is a square ceramic tile that's handmade. And there's knockoffs. It's very trendy right now, so that's why you can find some dupes. So it's like, okay, that's what I would like in white. It will look really cool because it's all uneven and it's a timeless design aesthetic.
And then we found it.
Except it was $32 a square foot. It's like, oh, that's like $2,300 for the back. So we didn't do that.
Yeah.
I didn't love it that much. to spend that amount of money on it.
Nope.
So at Home Depot, I found some long, I think they're like 3.5 by like 13-inch
We'll send you pictures.
subway tile, but they look handmade. They're like a little wobbly and stuff. The edges are completely square and plumb, but it's the surface front that looks all wobbly and bumpy. And so we're going to do that in like a brick, like just a traditional brick with a white grout, because I kind of want it. I don't like it when you can see the grout on white tile, like when you pick it. Anyways, yeah, so we're doing that, but I'm like, I want to learn how to do this. It's really bad.
Oh, you'll have something up on me because I've seen it done. I've never done it, and I'm just like,
yeah, I've never done tile either. I've picked all our tile out. I've never done it, so I'm really hoping somebody actually lets me try. I don't do it.
So the last time I did tile was in the
cottage.
And I was fairly happy with the way that.
Yeah, I loved it.
I'm just lurking. Continue.
Wow!
Dude.
Buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I'm not your buddy, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, pal.
all right. So you were saying, Chris, so you're going to be working on some tile.
Oh yeah, so we're doing the tile, and yeah, I want to actually help, but somebody gets on a roll, and then I'm not allowed to.
Listen.
He gets in the zone. The hyper focus hits hard, and it cannot be disturbed. So I have to tread lightly if I like. I have to get in right at the beginning of the process, so I become part of the hyper focus.
You can do the tile behind the stove.
Oh, I'm fully okay with that. That's okay. Nobody's gonna see it, so if I fuck it up, it's totally fine. That's what I thought that I would do.
Yeah, and so I said, I mean, we've talked about it on the show. Having the right tools makes the difference.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I got a proper tile cutter.
You got
Like,
tile,
I've got the tire nips.
Yeah.
You name it, I've got it, so it's ready to go. I'm not fucking around.
No. Yeah. But we do have other tile projects in the house that we're gonna have to do, like our bathroom upstairs, and so it'll be used again. Yeah. And then when the kids move out and they need projects done, we'll have stuff. We got a kid going into interior design, so I'm sure she'll should be hitting you up for something.
Oh, she's going to teach me how to use AutoCAD properly.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
What program is she using?
I think she doesn't know, so it'll be AutoCAD, and it'll be. She's not sure.
We don't. There's a few. I'll send it. SketchUp. One of them.
SketchUp. But
SketchUp I've tinkered around with. My primary one is Fusion 360. So
yeah, but we don't know yet. She doesn't know yet, but it's a laptop heavy course, and they did say it is not really Mac compatible.
It's not
No, so she does have to get a PC laptop.
So I'll be.
You need a new one anyway. It's already 10 years old, but we're not getting it.
Yeah.
Time for a new one, and we have options.
So. Now we have options.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cyrus, do you want to jump in, or you just want to lurk?
I'm listening. I find this interesting. Like I jumped in the middle, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But
well, we've just been talking about what we've been working on since the last time we did this episode, which was like in August. Normally, we kind of put out there things that we want to work on, and then discuss whether or not we accomplished said goals. So I basically talked for 20 minutes about making a foam clone trooper armor, and then Ray talked about how he wanted to decorate for Halloween, and they got a snowstorm, so a lot of that kind of went up in smoke. And then Chris talked about the fact that she was going to do nothing, and then literally did a bunch of different things. So,
well, I could talk for a second about some problems I've had with my magazine.
Sure, go ahead.
So the fourth issue that I've been trying to work on is about Nintendo. This is a retro gaming magazine. So it's like every issue focuses on something. Like the first one was about the 16-bit console wars, and then the second one was all about Sega. The third one was about TurboGrafx and PC Engine, and this one was supposed to be about Nintendo. But I'm having some trouble because I'm being advised that Nintendo might have a problem with what I'm doing. Because when you normally there's a there's a how do I say this? You have sort of some leeway if you're doing a magazine, if you feature trademarks and logos and stuff like that. Normally you have some leeway. However, because my magazine is retro and is not current news, it's not a news periodical. So there is some question about the possibility that if certain things were to transpire, Nintendo might send me a cease and desist or something along these lines. The reason this isn't coming out of nowhere, okay?
Oh, yeah.
There's some people that have had this exact problem with Nintendo.
Huh.
In fact, there's some guys called the Game Chasers. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Don't think I have.
Yeah, so they have a big YouTube channel, and they decided to make a DVD, like a movie, the Game Chasers, the movie, and they put it out on DVD and sell it online and all this kind of stuff. And they got a cease and desist from Nintendo from using Nintendo logos and trademarks and stuff like that. And they were able to still put out their movie, but they had to create their own versions of logos of Nintendo's logos and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Boy, that sounds like a headache and a half.
Yes. Yeah. And Nintendo has shut down YouTubers. They have shut down websites. They are very active in this particular area lately. I don't know what's up. So anyway, I had done a lot of work and I'm kind of not sure where I'm going with this 4th issue. I'm still going to put it out, but I have to admit that my motivation has basically taken a dump because I have to scrap a bunch of stuff. And here's the thing. I can put up all the photographs of Super Nintendo hardware, GameCube. Like, I could take photos of the games themselves and put them up there, no problem. I can talk about them all I want. But if I show a logo or a trademark, and it's not just logos that are trademarked, it's like Mario is trademarked.
Yep.
And specific versions of Mario are trademarked. And it's difficult to know what I can and can't do. So I'm trying to figure it out.
That sucks. Even for a self-published magazine, they would come after you for this.
Oh, it doesn't count as a magazine because it's retro. This is not news.
Yeah, but magazines do more, like Life magazine doesn't talk about new stuff all the time. They do retrospectives. They do. Yeah,
but Life magazine is a major periodical that contacts these companies and gets specific, explicit permission to do certain things. Like they have agreements with whatever, they figure that out. Like
could you do something just like a specific thing talking about current things with Nintendo and see if that would make it fly under the radar?
Well, I am going to mention their current stuff. But
I understand you don't want to do all this work and then be told, sorry, you got to take it down, because then
it's not a news magazine is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like this is not.
Yeah.
And so I don't get the exception that you would get. Like it's confusing. It's
fair use law still sounds like it should cover you, but I understand like it's not worth the fight if they're going to be that much of an
it's not like you've got the money to hire a lawyer to actually protect you. Like,
well, see, that's the thing. Nobody else would do this but Nintendo. Nobody else. Like, I'm not worried about Sega doing anything. I'm not worried about Konami protecting their rights for the TurboGrafx or PC Engine stuff. I'm not worried about any of those other people, Xbox people, PlayStation. They don't give a crap, but Nintendo does. They have been known to ruin people over this kind of stuff.
Why do they do that though? Like, what's their MO?
Nintendo is a Japanese old school, like I mean, this is, I don't really know. I don't have a good answer for you, but I can tell you that their culture is, we will come after you if you try to benefit from our stuff. I mean, they wouldn't even let people like stream Nintendo games for a long time.
I remember that.
They were trying to shut them down for that. And
Yeah,
what the thing about that is it falls under fair use. Like, sorry.
The thing about fair use, fair use applies in the public space.
Yeah.
Fair use, it doesn't actually apply on private platforms. Like Google, like YouTube and Twitch and stuff. There's no such thing as fair use on Twitch and YouTube. That's a myth. Like those are private platforms. Like the only thing that matters is the rules they set and whatever is dictated to them by their sponsors or by companies that threaten them, like Nintendo. So it's a weird thing. But what I'm doing is not what my concern, let me say this, is, you know, I get the magazine done, everything seems fine. 6 months later, I get something, or they just shut me down and don't even tell me because they go straight to the publisher.
Right. Yeah.
And I just I'm concerned. I have concerns, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking trying to do a Nintendo magazine. Like I'm still gonna do it, but it might be that all the pictures are very specifically either hardware or just the games.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, photographs of like Miyamoto, and there's things I can do. Okay.
Right. Yep.
I just have to think about it and I basically have to start over. So yeah, I've been, that's why I'm, like I said, I'm kind of just not motivated to do it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm not doing it right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Understandable.
you gotta put together a plan, you know, and my plan is not very good at the moment.
Because your got shot to hell. So
Yeah. Real quick before we move on to what we're going to be we'd like to work on. So what I've been watching this. I've had a blast at lunchtime the last couple of days watching you replay the original Resident Evil on the PlayStation. I've been playing it. I've been having a great time. And what got you started on that? Like, what made you decide, I'm gonna pull this up and dude, I had no intention of playing it at all. Like, it wasn't even like something I was thinking about doing. But what happened was I did a video about Sega Saturn stuff, and I was just showing some different Saturn games, and one of them was Resident Evil, which I have never really seen. I've never really played too much on the Saturn. And I played it a little bit, and I noticed there was some differences from what I remembered. And people are like, "Oh yeah, that version's different." And And I'm like, "It's a lot better on PlayStation. It really is. I'm sorry." But I started to think about it anyway. So I was getting everything set up with this emulator that can like enhance PlayStation games and make them like much higher resolution and stuff. And I was tinkering around, and I started playing with Resident Evil, and I was just going to capture some footage. I wasn't going to really do anything. And then I just started playing it, and I got really into it. And I'm like, God dang it. I'm just going to play through the whole game again because it's been so long. Like, oh yeah, there are some things that you've walked into, and I'm just like, oh, I forgot all about that. Like, I forgot all about the giant snake. I forgot all about the giant spiders. It is amazing the amount of stuff that I don't remember about that game. Like, right. And as soon as you see it, you remember it. But like, there's rooms I'm like, oh, I don't know what's through these doors. Let me go through this door. Oh yeah, I
That's in this game. Yeah.
My favorite one is you walked in that room and you went, no, and just turned around.
Is that the crows or whatever? Is that the...
Oh, the freaking crows. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, real
Screw
quick
you.
before we move on from this, I had never heard that if you combined all three chronics together, you were invincible, and it didn't appear that that's the case.
I did not hear. I've never heard that before. I read that in the GameFAQ walkthrough, and I tested it, and I don't think it works either. I think it's
no,
BS.
because the hunter was all over you, and you were yeah.
Maybe for Jill it works, or maybe in another version it works, because there's 3 versions for the PlayStation.
Okay, see, and maybe that's the case, but because
Yeah.
I don't remember, because I specifically would mix all 3 together, because I know the red enhances, green is heal, and blue is poison or whatever, and I would mix all 3 of them together so that if I got poison, and wait till I got closer to being dead, and then I'd use it. But like, I was like, I don't ever remember becoming invincible for a little bit. I was just like, I'm still getting my butt tore up. So
I think we would have noticed, because
yeah,
dude. No, I don't think that's right.
I don't either.
I'm gonna have to do. I think more research is needed. We'll just say that.
Nice. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to what we would like to work on for next time. Now, the next episode of this will be in December. If we do one, I'll try to let y'all know if we don't.
Yeah.
But December tends to be pretty busy for everyone. If we do, it'll be a media catch up. So we're talking about what we'd like to get done between now and January. So you got quite a bit of time. I'll go ahead and go first. Start prepping for the move. I may try to get a couple of little projects done here and there, but in all honesty, so Friday, for example, Christy's going to be out of town, and they're supposed to be coming to take pictures of the house. Well, we can leave up like normal pictures and stuff, but like family pictures, like personalized stuff needs to come down. So like Friday morning, now this is all dependent on whether or not my yard guy is going to be able to mow tomorrow. It's supposed to rain most of the day tomorrow. But as long as he can mow, and as long as it doesn't rain on Friday, because they're going to do drone footage of the house as well. I just found out about that today. They're supposed to come take pictures on Friday, so I'm supposed to take the boys and the dogs to my mom's house, and then I'm literally going to be going from like room to room, being like, all right, give me a second. You're going to do the kitchen next? Okay, let me take down these pictures, clear off cabinets, that type of stuff. Let me take the pictures. All right, let's move to the next room, so on and so forth. My office is extremely clean for what my office is, even though you would look at the background and be like, that's clean. Yes, you can actually see the floor behind me. But no, so I'll be working on that over Thanksgiving. I'm going to be repairing floors because they want to put it up on the market here pretty quick. So I'm going to be doing some repairing of floors. Tomorrow night, I'm actually going to be doing some touch-up paint, and I've already started thinking, I was like, stuff that we don't necessarily need. I may even start collecting boxes, and I may start even packing up some of the stuff here behind me, just because my partner at work won't mind. I could take some of this stuff and store it at work. But like when we took down all the Halloween stuff, that went to storage. I was like, there's no use putting it back up in the attic. That would be stupid. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm already thinking, I'm gonna have to start focusing on this type of stuff. I'm sure I will get some little things done here and there. Like, for example, I was mentioning, I told myself I was going to take a break. I've been watching a lot of TV, trying to get caught up on some stuff, but I went ahead and ordered some bigger magnets for the Roomba, so that the little guys would hold on better, because we had for Halloween day, on Halloween, we got to dress up at work, and I didn't have a lot of time to prep or anything. So my partner was like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'll just wear my Ghostbuster stuff like normal. He goes, well, can I be a Ghostbuster with you? I'm like, yeah. So my first flight suit, which I'm a little too big for, but is also a little on the tall side, it fit him just great. So I took second proton pack. We both dressed up as Ghostbusters. It was great. And I got a chance. My principal came in and was like, hey, are you going to run the Roomba around? I was like, yeah, I can do that. And I was just like, man, this is a lot of fun. It does get, there are a lot of people that see it and really like it. And I was just like, I need to get the magnets on here better so that the little mini pups will hold on to it better. So I'm sure I will sprinkle in some little projects here and there, but literally my planning between now and then is just, I gotta start prepping, and it's some other little things. So like, I need to go through my closet, and this is gonna be a great time to be like, you know what? I've been holding on to this shirt and haven't quite met that goal, so I think I need to let it go because there's no use hauling stuff that I'm not gonna wear. In all honesty, with me and stuff like that. I need to start going through some of the drawers and stuff and cabinets for stuff that I've been holding on to that I'm like, I haven't used this in years, or I thought I was going to use it and I'm going to use it. Might as well just toss it at this point. So, but yeah, just prepping for the move is kind of my MO for the next couple of months. So we'll see.
Understandable. Yeah.
Yeah. Ray, what would you like to work on?
Well, okay, so the kitchen tile will be done.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I would like to do, I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to, because I was down at Lee Valley, so I went and picked up some beechwood. So I might do some hand carving. So that'll be one thing. Or
I'm putting in all caps, or
I'm going to get some time to play on the guitar. I have been itching to get on the guitar and at least learn something new and try and get something going with that. So
cool.
And with it being Christmas and all that crap.
Yep. Totally understand. Chris, anything in particular you want to work on, or are you still doing nothing, lady?
No. I need. Apparently that doesn't work. So I do things. I would like to finish that Granny Square sweater, because that'll be like the first piece of wearable thing I've ever made for myself since the 10th grade. And decorate for Christmas, even though we're not going to be here for it. I have a house sitter, so it's fine. We do, well, yeah, but Logan's like obsessed with Christmas, so get that up for her.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I usually do like neighborhood baking. We have like 5 or 6 neighbors that I make like little cookie boxes for.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do that.
That's good.
Probably pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah.
We'll see.
That sounds pretty good.
It's gonna be Logan's 18th birthday in January, so I mean.
Yay!
Yeah,
Wow.
I know.
Time flies.
Your daughter's in her 20s, so I mean.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's
almost in her 30s.
Oh.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll do something for that for her birthday.
Sounds good to me. So, Sai, anything in particular you want to work on? Rethink your magazine, or?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm gearing up for a big change for next year. Going to be continuing to do video game stuff here and there, but mainly focusing on my real writing again. And yeah, new channel starting back up. It's basically my m4.biz thing, Marion Martin Multimedia. And first up is the sequel to my last book, Michael Meredith.
Really?
Yep. It's going to be the next big thing I do. And I got to get
going to do an audio version of it.
Oh yes. That's what the YouTube channel is all about. Is
excellent. Okay.
I'm going to do this in a very different way. There's something I tried a while back and I really liked it, but I kind of moved away from it because it was so unconventional. I was like, is this weird? I don't know. Nobody else is doing this. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And so every chapter will get released independently, and it will be an audio and PDF. And then when I get done, I'll put them all out as a complete book and a complete audio set.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I heard some great advice a long time ago, and in order to do something well, you either have to be first or best or different. It's one of those three. and do what you will with it. But kind of lived by that a few times now, where it's like, you know what, I'm not the best, I'm not the first, so I'm gonna be different.
Yeah, I'm if nothing else, I have my own drum and I march to it, and there's that thing that I do. Yes,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Nice. I am looking forward to that. So
I'm looking forward to learning more about your house that you're moving into, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing those cookies that I just heard were being prepared.
I know, right?
Sounds
You
interesting.
can eat them.
Tell me more of these cookies.
Chocolate with sprinkles.
Ooh.
No.
No?
I'll make my chocolate peanut butter oatmeal ones.
Ooh.
Oh
That sounds
my!
good.
It's almost too much. It's almost
Yeah, they're almost too much.
They're just fucking good.
I just saw again that reel that someone takes all the different types of cookies and they take like an apple core and they go down it and it causes them to be in these wedges, and then they take one wedge from like 8 different cookies and then wrap it up and freeze it and then slice it and make those into cookies. So literally it's a cookie that's chocolate chip and oatmeal and peanut butter and
Yeah.
red velvet, and I'm just it's the what's his name? It's not the bearded bard, that's a different guy. Weirdo or something like that. The guy who's like, oh, I'm never gonna be a thin man. That guy, he's watching it the whole time, and I'm just like, yep, dude, same boat, man.
wow.
Be a skinny man.
I wonder if Jeff Goldblum has anything to say about this. You know, our scientists were so busy worried.
Oh yes,
They didn't know if they.
Yeah. So
Yeah, some of those flavors might be kind of strange together. You know,
it might be, but I'd give it a shot. Like I like doing it one time and just seeing if it would be worth the shot. I think would be worth it. But then, you know, I don't know. Who knows? It may be fantastic and be like, oh no, I've got to do this again. Of course, then I'd almost wonder if deciding like, well, maybe it's better if certain ones go together. Like you definitely don't want the peanut butter and chocolate chip that should sit next to each other, but you don't want that next to the red velvet because the red velvet, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that could be a whole thing. That could be a whole rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
I mean, like the thought of like mixing like peanut butter and mint. That sounds.
I just remembered something about you, Cyrus. You don't like to mix things together. I forgot about that, and I did not learn that until we started doing the show, because we did an episode talking about mixing different foods, and the whole time you were just like, nope to all of this.
I remember that.
So don't go watch the new Matt Pat video for food theory, because he tries a it was a dill pickle donut.
Oh no.
Oh,
See, but Christy would probably be into it because she loves dill pickle.
Dill pickle donut. How does that even?
I don't know. It just doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, no thank
I
you.
found dill pickle hummus at the grocery store.
That was good.
Oh no, that sounds good actually. Dill pickle hummus.
It's a great dip.
Fair enough.
I like pickles. You know, I just donuts.
I do too, but there's some things that I would not add pickle to. It just.
There's some things you could add pickle to that you might not know. You might think would not be good, but actually are good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reluctant to suggest something.
Okay.
Because what I just said about mixing peanut butter with mint. But if you put pickles on a peanut butter sandwich, it's actually pretty good.
I've heard that. I can't do it.
I don't know. I don't like. I would take a bite. Like if someone else had one, they were like, "Here, take a bite of this." I'd give it a shot. I wouldn't be like immediately like, "No."
Ray, come on. Live dangerously.
No.
But no, I can't say nothing because this pickle donut thing doesn't sound appealing.
No, that just does not. No.
Yeah. It sounds disgusting, but I've had it and it's actually pretty good. Apple slices in a grilled cheese.
That's
no, I get that because apparently cheddar and apple go together really well.
I don't know. I'm having a hard time with that. I don't know about that.
Grapes with a hard cheddar, like a
I've heard that.
Okay.
Well, that's also kind of the cheese and wine thing.
I think we're losing you, Ray. We're losing you.
All right, before we go off into a completely different show about food, we'll go ahead and wrap up here. So if you would, ladies and gentlemen, please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, wherever it is you listen. Not Stitcher anymore. Sorry, they stopped doing that. iTunes, Google, wherever you listen to podcasts. Or if you want to watch the show, you can find us on YouTube as well. You can find all of the shows on epicallygeeky.com, where you can find this, the Epically Geeky Show, Marginally Geeky, and Sustainably Geeky as well. Like I said at the top of the episode, we are coming back. It was a rough month last month. We didn't get a lot of episodes out of anything, so we're not doing the quiet kind of fade off thing. We are still around. So you can find us on social media, kind of sorta, at epicallygeeky.com, mainly Facebook and Instagram. I just don't see the point of X. And I mean, come on, Reels are not Reels, but what is the other one? What is the one that they Threads? Threads. Yeah. If you're gonna do Threads, just do Instagram and be done with it. Like, whatever. Yeah. That being said, where can we find you online, Ray?
The Reluctant Yeti on Instagram and apparently Threads, but I don't go there anymore.
Yeah. So. Chris, can we find you online anywhere?
Yes, on Instagram at Moody Midlife.
Cyrus, where can we find your work?
Super Mega Graphics 64. Which I'm not going to explain more than that.
Just go to YouTube, look it up, and watch him play Resident Evil. If you remember playing Resident Evil when it was on the original PlayStation, you're going to have a blast because you'll be like me. Half of the stuff you will have forgotten. You'll be like, oh, yeah, I forgot. And the few things you do remember, you'll like want to yell at the screen, no, go, just do it. Like, just click the button. It'll be fine.
Hey, have you seen this in television stuff been doing with all these homebrew games that people have made for the old school television? I haven't watched it yet,
but it's on my to-do list.
Dude, they're doing stuff on that system. It looks like NES games on the Intellivision.
On an Intellivision?
It's crazy. That
is crazy.
It's really cool.
I love the fact that people are going back and remaking games for these like dinosaur old consoles. And
yeah,
I just think that's awesome.
I don't know how. It's like magic. It's like sorcery. I don't know. I'm probably gonna go to hell, but I'm enjoying the experience.
Nice.
If anybody knows what to do with an original Xbox that still works, let me know.
An original. Say it again.
Original Xbox.
Original. Oh, you can hack that sucker. You can throw.
I was
all
gonna
kinds
say
of
I
stuff
know
on
people
it.
used to hack them, but I don't remember what they would do exactly.
I've never had an original Xbox. So I don't know.
Neither have I.
Yeah, a buddy of mine gave it to me because he didn't know what to do with it. So
my first Xbox was a 360.
You can collect Xbox games, like old school Xbox games, super cheap. Yeah. Like you might.
Didn't you say the retro market's like bottomed out or something on a video? I didn't get to watch it, but I saw your cover for it.
Yeah, the graded games, the ones that they have been selling that are in those cases that have like ratings on them and stuff. Like this is a scale of 1 to 1,000. This is a 99. Whatever. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, the prices have all taken a nosedive, which is, I mean, the whole thing was basically being inflated by prospectors, by people who would they would buy up all the copies they could find of a game, and they had partnerships with YouTubers, bigger YouTubers, where they would promote the game and to drive up the demand for it. And then they would put out their own graded games that they graded themselves. Like there was some shady stuff going on. And
sounds like it.
Yeah. And it basically, it was like a bubble. It was like like the housing bubble collapsed. It was like that, and it all collapsed. So there are people that lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions.
Jeepers.
Yeah. It's been crazy. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Wow.
And you can follow my individual wacky adventure online at Optimachine on Facebook, Instagram, and Instagram. That's it. I'm not going to worry with you. Just forget them. For everyone on the site, have a good night.